The faint whisper of a prayer echoed from the back of the cave just beyond the dozen figures huddled by the flickering torchlight. Their eyes, wide with hope and fear, watched the man at the front. Just 13 years had passed since the first words of God shattered the silence of Mecca, and with each new revelation, the stakes grew higher. These new believers had left everything, their homes, their old ways, following one man who spoke of a single unseen God. But what exactly did that mean? What did this new faith demand of their hearts, their minds? The desert wind howled outside, a constant reminder of the uncertainty that still clung to their lives. Their past was clear: idols, ancestors, tribal rituals. This new way felt vast, boundless, stretching further than the desert itself. His gaze swept over them. Then his voice, steady as rock, broke the tension. "Faith, my companions," he began, "is to believe in 6 things. 6 truths, 6 anchors for a soul adrift in a storm." He wasn't just giving them rules for life, he was giving them the very structure of reality. A map to understanding the universe itself, from the smallest grain of sand to the furthest star. A blueprint for existence. Every single Muslim, then and now, built their world on these foundations. But how could they truly believe in what they couldn't see and trust it with their very souls? The scorching sun beat down on the ochre-dusted hills surrounding ancient Mecca. Imagine the air, thick with the scent of spices and the low murmur of trade, yet also heavy with the clink of idols in the Kaaba. People knelt before stone gods, offering prayers to carved wood and painted images, convinced these figures held power over their lives. Into this landscape, a voice began to whisper a revolutionary truth. Around 610 CE, a man named Muhammad, known for his honesty and thoughtful solitude, received the first of these revelations. It was a message simple yet profound. There is only one God, Allah, worthy of worship. The Quran, in its earliest verses, laid this foundation, declaring Allah's absolute oneness, Tawhid, and calling humanity to abandon the countless idols that had cluttered their spiritual landscape for centuries. This foundational belief was a stark challenge to the existing order, promising a profound shift in how people understood power, purpose, and their very existence. This single, unwavering truth would soon echo across the desert sands, demanding a complete re-evaluation of everything they knew. Years later, as the message began to spread through Mecca, Prophet Muhammad continued to receive revelations that unveiled more layers of this divine reality. The Quran didn't just speak of God, it spoke of unseen forces that served him. It meticulously detailed the existence and nature of angels, not as gods to be worshipped, but as powerful, obedient servants of Allah. Imagine Angel Jibreel, peace be upon him, the bringer of these very words, majestic and swift, fulfilling divine commands. And it is in these very pages that we read, time and again, of God's previous communications to humanity. The Quran frequently referenced earlier divine scriptures, affirming their truth and establishing a continuous chain of guidance. It spoke of the Torah revealed to Musa, Moses, and the Injil, Gospel, given to Isa, Jesus. Peace be upon them both, recognizing them as authentic words from the one God. This wasn't a brand new faith. It was the final, comprehensive chapter of an ancient story, connecting distant eras with a golden thread of revelation. The story was unfolding, revealing a universe far richer and more interconnected than anyone had previously imagined. Over a decade, as the Quran continued to unfold, it painted a vivid tapestry of divine communication through human history. Time and again, it recounted the stories of past prophets, from Noah, who warned his people of the flood, to Abraham, who stood against idol worship, to Yunus, Jonah, who repented in the belly of a whale. Peace be upon them all. These narratives weren't just tales, they were powerful illustrations, demonstrating a continuous chain of divine messengers. Each prophet, sent to different peoples in different ages, brought the same core message: worship the one God and live righteously. Through these stories, Allah revealed his consistent method of guiding humanity, solidifying the belief in the prophethood and mission of these chosen individuals. The Prophet Muhammad, facing rejection and persecution in Mecca, found solace and strength in the trials of his predecessors. Understanding his own mission as the culmination of this grand lineage, he realized that the human heart, left to its own devices, often strays, making the role of these divine guides absolutely essential. But what would happen if people refused to listen? As the Meccan period drew to a close, with increasing hostility and outright threats against the early Muslim community, the Quran began to deliver strong warnings, vivid descriptions of a looming day of judgment, of resurrection from the dust, and of ultimate accountability instilled a core belief in an afterlife and divine justice. Imagine standing on a vast plain, every deed, every intention laid bare, with no chance to hide. The polytheists of Mecca, like Abu Jahl, vehemently rejected this idea, scoffing at the notion of bones turning back to life, seeing it as a desperate attempt to control them. Yet the Quran insisted that every soul would face its creator, answering for its choices, its kindnesses, and its cruelties. This belief brought both profound hope for the righteous and a terrifying reality for those who chose to deny God's truth. It became clear that this earthly life was but a fleeting test, and the ultimate recompense awaited in the next. But even with the promise of judgment, a complex question lingered. If God was in control of everything, did humans truly have free will to choose their path? After the arduous journey to Medina, known as the Hijrah, a new chapter began for the nascent Muslim community. In the relative tranquility of this new home, the concept of Qadar, divine decree, was further explained. Allah's absolute knowledge and power, encompassing all that has been, is, and will be, became clearer. The Prophet taught his companions how to balance this profound truth with human free will, emphasizing that while God knows and permits all, humanity is still accountable for its choices. This understanding offered peace and trust in divine wisdom, even amidst the challenges of building a new society. Then, in a moment that would forever shape Islamic understanding, the Prophet Muhammad explicitly articulated these fundamental beliefs. It happened one day, as the companions sat with him, when a man in pristine white clothes, with jet-black hair, appeared amongst them. He introduced himself as Jibreel, peace be upon him, and proceeded to ask the Prophet about Islam, and then about Iman, faith. The Prophet's answers, preserved in what is known as the Hadith of Gabriel, precisely outlined the 6 articles of faith. He explained that Iman is to believe in Allah, His angels, His books, His messengers, the Day of Judgment, and in divine decree, both its good and its bad. The final piece of the puzzle had clicked into place, providing a clear, concise framework for what every Muslim is required to believe, forming the unshakable bedrock of their spiritual journey. We've journeyed through the bedrock of Islamic faith, exploring the 6 articles that define what it means to be a Muslim. These are not just ancient texts, they are living principles that have shaped the course of human history. From the earliest communities to the global Muslim presence today, these beliefs have offered guidance, solace, and a profound sense of purpose. They inspired magnificent civilizations, propelled scientific discovery, and provided a moral compass for billions. They gave people a shared way to understand their place in the universe and their connection to the divine. Even as societies changed, empires rose and fell, and technology reshaped our lives, the core truths in these articles endured. They crossed borders, languages, and cultures, forming a powerful, invisible bond. The belief in one God, in His angels, His revealed books, His prophets, the Day of Judgment, and divine decree. This was a complete worldview, a way to see the beauty and order in all creation. It gave a common language to diverse peoples, a universal guide in an ever-changing world. What was lost to time were fleeting moments and earthly concerns. What survived was the eternal essence of faith. These 6 articles form the unshakable foundation of Islamic belief, uniting Muslims across time and place in their understanding of God and existence. If this journey through the articles of faith offered you new insights, brought you closer to understanding, or simply resonated with your spirit, please consider tapping the like button. It's a small action, but it makes a significant difference. Your like tells YouTube that content like this is valuable, helping our channel reach other hearts and minds across the globe who are searching for meaning, truth, and a deeper connection to faith. It helps ensure these essential lessons continue to find their way to those who need to hear them most. Subscribe to our channel to continue exploring the rich tapestry of faith, history, and profound wisdom, with new chapters released regularly.